The oldest house in the town has been abandoned for years. The whispers of the wind can be heard through its dilapidated windows. The shadows of the trees around it fall on the house at night, as if indicating that something is surrounding it. The townspeople stay away from this house. Old stories say that those who lived inside the house mysteriously disappeared. One evening, a group of young and brave friends decide to discover the secrets of this old house. The team consists of Mike, Sarah, and Alex. Lanterns in their hands, they arrive in front of the house in the dark of night. They enter with the creaking of the door and immediately feel a strange coldness. The house carries the dust of years and the feeling of oblivion. First, they discover a spacious and dark hall. Old furniture, faded paintings and a closed piano bear the traces of time. Mike finds an old photo album. The photos inside show the happy days of the house in the past, but on the one hand, in every photo, an unidentified shadow appearing in the background attracts their attention. Sarah, curious, goes upstairs. While walking along the corridor, he hears strange sounds coming from each of the closed rooms. Finally, he opens the door of a room and walks in. The room is unexpectedly warm and inviting. A bed, a table and a lamp stand there as if it were still in use. Sarah notices the diary on the table and starts turning its pages. The diary is filled with the writings of a young woman who was the last inhabitant of the house. The woman talks about the oddities inside the house, the sounds and shadows she hears at night. The diary ends abruptly, with a page torn out in the middle. Downstairs, Mike and Alex, rummaging through the belongings of the decrepit residents of the house, feel a strange cold current of air. The cold air seems to be following them. Alex suddenly stands in front of an old mirror. When he looks in the mirror, he sees not his own reflection, but something else. It is as if he is looking at a reflection that is outside the house, inside the mirror. And there, in front of the house, he sees three young figures, Mike, Sarah, and himself. However, in their reflections in the mirror, it is as if there is a shadow behind them, coming from inside the house. Meanwhile, upstairs, Sarah, after reading the diary, screams. Mike and Alex, however, immediately run upstairs. Hearing Sarah scream, Mike and Alex quickly run up the stairs. When they reach the upper floor, they find Sarah in the hallway, leaning against the wall. There is a dull expression on his face, and his eyes are full of fear. "Don't come into the room," Sarah whispers. However, Mike and Alex look into the room that Sarah pointed out and go inside to see what is behind the door. The room is very different from what Sarah described. It is no longer warm and inviting, but cold and gloomy. The bed is messy, the lamp is out, and the diary on the table is gone. It is as if the room has not been touched by anyone for years. On the walls, the shadows of pale, indistinct figures wander. Alex notices an old chest in the corner of the room. When he opens the chest, an old, dusty book comes out of it. Strange symbols and the title written in an ancient language appear on the cover of the book. Mike begins to study the book, and as he turns the pages, he discovers dark secrets about the house's past. It is written in the book that there used to be a cemetery on the land where the house was built, and the house built on this cemetery makes the spirits restless. Meanwhile, as Sarah waits in the hallway, it further increases the feeling of restlessness inside the house. December. The slight buzzing coming from the walls gradually increases and suddenly turns into whispers coming from all corners of the house. Sarah, trembling with fear, calls Mike and Alex. As they quickly return to the hallway, they feel that something has changed inside the house. The sounds coming from all over the house now become understandable. The whispers are like the voices of the previous residents of the house. They all tell their own stories. Mike, Alex, and Sarah feel lost in these sounds. At every step, they face the past of the house. The shadows continue to play on the walls, as if watching them. As the three friends move through the house, they discover that each room has a different story. In one room is an old piano, and in another room is a mirror that was broken many years ago. Each object reveals a new secret about the house's past. However, on the top floor of the house, there is a closed room. The door is as if sealed by something. 3 friends try to open the door, but they can't manage it. Meanwhile, the atmosphere inside the house becomes more and more threatening. "We need to get out of here," Sarah whispers. However, the paths inside the house have changed. Stairs, corridors, rooms. Everything is intertwined like a maze. While the 3 friends are trying to find their way out, the shadows inside the house become animated and begin to follow them. The darkness inside the house becomes more and more intense, and the darkness in the house begins to envelop them almost like a tangible presence. As Mike, Sarah, and Alex struggle to find the exit, the number of shadows wandering around the house increases. These shadows, like the spirits of the former inhabitants of the house, follow the 3 friends and pin them down. Alex notices an old clock hanging on a wall of the house. The clock, unexpectedly, is still ticking. The ticking of the clock further increases the tense atmosphere inside the house. Mike senses that something is important about the clock and approaches the clock. He finds a mysterious key on the back of the clock, which they think belongs to the original owner of the house. Meanwhile, Sarah feels that one of the shadows walking around the house is touching her. The shadows are no longer just watching, they are starting to interact physically. The 3 friends are horrified by this situation and hurry even more to get out of the house. Mike realizes that the key he found belongs to the closed room upstairs. The 3 friends run towards the closed room. When they open the door, inside, they discover a shocking truth about the house's past. The room is the personal study of the former owner, and inside the room there are old photos, diaries, and letters hanging on the walls. These documents reveal the tragic events that took place in the past of the house. The spirits in the house begin to gather towards this room. The spirits want to face the past of the house and find peace. Mike, Sarah, and Alex decide to help them so that the souls can be restored to peace. Meanwhile, outside the house, the townspeople notice strange sounds and lights coming from the house. The townspeople gather around this house, which they have approached with fear for years. Inside the house, Mike, Sarah, and Alex try to solve the secrets of the house together with the spirits, while the townspeople also witness what is happening outside. Inside the house, the atmosphere inside the house begins to change as the souls reach peace. The darkness inside the house slowly dissipates, the shadows disappear, and the house finds peace for the first time in years. The 3 friends feel the change in the house and leave the house. The townspeople experience surprise and relief when they see that they got out of the house safely. Mike, Sarah, and Alex, after their terrible experience inside the house, tell the townspeople the true story of the house. Faced with the past of the house, the townspeople begin to remember this house with peace, not with fear anymore. After this event, the house becomes an important place in the history of the town. Now the townspeople pass on the secrets and story of the house to future generations. The adventure that Mike, Sarah, and Alex had lives forever in the town's memory. The mysteries inside the house and the story of the spirits leave deep traces in the minds of the townspeople. Although the restless spirits inside the house have been released and restored to peace after Mike, Sarah, and Alex revealed the secrets of the house's past, this old mansion still harbors many mysteries. A few weeks later, the townspeople notice that mysterious events are continuing around the house. Strange sounds coming from inside the house, lights seen at night. These events drag the townspeople back to their old fears. Mike, Sarah, and Alex team up again to decipher the still undiscovered secrets of the house. When they return to the house, they discover a basement door that they hadn't noticed before. The door is sealed with a heavy lock and chains. Mike has read a dark secret about the basement in one of the diaries of the former owner of the house. The diary writes that the basement is the most dangerous place in the house. Something hidden here triggers a curse on the house. The 3 friends break the lock and go down to the basement. The basement is dark and damp, the dampness of years has accumulated on the walls. As they move through the basement, they notice that something is moving among the decrepit furniture, boxes, and dusty books. These movements seem to indicate that there is another presence in the basement. In the deepest corner of the basement, they find an old chest. Inside the chest, the personal belongings of the former owner and a number of letters are found. The letters reveal that the former owner of the house made a dark deal regarding the land on which the house was built. This agreement has unsettled the spirits of the cemetery on the grounds and brought a curse on the house. Mike, Sarah and Alex start researching the history of the town to solve this dark secret. During their research, they come across the diary of one of the former residents of the town. The diary tells about the details of the agreement made on the land on which the house was built and how this agreement will be broken. 3 Friends decide to perform the necessary ritual to lift the curse on the house. They collect the necessary materials for the ritual, and one night, during the darkest phase of the moon, they start the ritual. During the ritual, paranormal events occur inside and outside the house. Shadows move, old spirits appear, and the atmosphere inside the house changes. When the ritual is completed, the dark atmosphere over the house slowly dissipates. The townspeople feel that the house is peaceful now. Mike, Sarah and Alex have managed to lift the curse on the house. After this event, the house opens a new page in the history of the town. Now the townspeople visit the house not with fear, but with curiosity. Mike, Sarah and Alex are referred to as the heroes of the town.